each of these SNPs, and we can see that they have a dynamic pattern, and we can see that these two mutations came up relatively late, probably during the course of our study. And they grew, and they really took over, but they only took over one of these branches. And so, because we have some few SNPs, we can build a perfect parsimony tree, and then we can map those SNPs, and we can really build a model of, even though we're talking about metagenomic data, we don't have whole genomes, we can make very good inferences about, what all the strains are, what their abundance is at any point in time. And so, we can only make kind of general differences about what happened in the years predating our sampling, but during our sampling, we can build a very precise model of how much of each strain we see at a different time. And we see sometimes we get mutations that pop up, and then die off over here, and sometimes we get mutations that pop up and really take over, but they only take over sort of one of the arms, and we have this sort of constant coexistence of the two different strain types that I showed you in the previous slide. Okay. So we'll talk about fragmentation. What my group is always really interested in is horizontal gene transfer. We got inspired by the study on case lines, which showed that most likely in the Japanese microbiome sort of normal gene pool, there are these genes to digest porphyrin, which is polysaccharides that make up these nori sushi wrappers. Again, it was more they acquired from a marine bacteria that was feeding on the seaweed. So we built this. This was a really first ever kind of map of horizontal gene transfer and sort of hotspots, and we found we included all the different genes, all the genomes, and I think at the time we had a lot of non-human sort of environments. We saw that in microbiome was a real hotspot of horizontal gene transfer, where we saw most of our hits. I was fortunate enough to work with Richard Plotkoff a while ago, who's a professor at Cornell, who took the study out to some of the rural villages in Fiji, which collected samples from about 300 different individuals, came back and analyzed those for community structure and gene transfer. And what she found is that all of the HMP metagenomes can all cluster together, and TG metagenomes cluster together. When she looked within villages, they were essentially on top of each other. And one of the things that was causing the metagenomes to cluster together was that there's these population-specific genes that were, you can see some over here, these are mobile genes, but they're specific to the HMP and they're rarely found in the genes. And then here we have mobile genes that are highly enriched, but specific to the genes and rarely found in the HMP. And you look at what those genes are, and they tend to be enriched in these glycoside hydrolases that allow their hosts to access different parts of the diet and eat very different starches. But you can see, a number that are kind of enriched in HMP versus TG, and a number that are enriched in TG versus HMP. Okay, so we just published that paper on horizontal gene transfer. Back in 2012, and I got this email from Yara Horan, who, when I was a postdoc, she demanded to have a Skype with me. I said, okay, and she told me how I got everything wrong, and I missed the bulk of the signal in my data because we went really conservative about what we call horizontal gene transfer. We had this 500 base pair cutoff. If it wasn't a 500 base pair, we didn't look at it. And she said, that how she said, this is the most exciting part of the story, and the most exciting part is that even for genes that rarely ever get horizontally transferred, they're upstream promoter regions. The regulatory information often gets transferred, but it's usually less than 500 base pairs. So she came up to my lab, finished the project with me, and showing this term HRT, which is horizontal regulatory transfer, and identified that as the key type of regulatory switching that bugs use to adapt to their environment. And so here you can see here's the MET-R gene, there's the regulator. All the E. coli's kind of group together, the enterobacters group together. Here's MET-E, we have the enterobacter and E. coli. But when we look at the promoter region in between MET-E and MET-R, what we see is that the enterobacter is over here with the E. coli. And so what it looks like is the E. coli is picked up horizontally transferred regulatory region from the enterobacter. And so she went on to show that if you look at E. coli strains that have picked up that have switched their regulation versus in two different strains, it affects their function, so it affects their gene expression. So if they pick up in regulatory regions, they're much more likely to have divergent expression across two different strains. And at least for the MET-R, MET-E example, she was able to show in the laboratory that it actually had an effect on gene fitness. And she also showed that this was pretty widespread across the field. It was also species dependent. And so we see very different rates of regulatory transfer and regulatory switching across different species. And we still don't really understand what the rules are there because it doesn't correlate very obviously with the overall amount of mutation of those species. Okay, so getting back to the main part of the story, we wanted to plug in the right into these maps and I'm showing all this stuff about regulatory transfer. All of these things are happening over vast time scales. And so for DNA to be 1,000 base pairs in 99% identical, well, that means you could have a horizontal transfer yesterday or last week. You could also have a horizontal transfer 5,000 years ago, sort of the dawn of modern civilization. Those won't get you in that 99% regime over a single gene. So one of the key questions to me was, well, when we get an OGU and we get colonized by a new species, can that species pick up genes that are maybe in other bugs within our microbiome? Because that would mean that we're missing a lot. When we get 16S, we can't just look at 16S and reference genomes to get the whole story, because the fundamental functional properties and the capabilities of these bugs are adapting to our own environments via this very efficient path of horizontal transfer. And it took a long time looking at single cell genomics, but a lot of things to calculate evidence of this transfer. And it'll walk through, I think we finally found it, it'll walk through some of the evidence based on the isolate genomes that we now have. And so this is for ME2, it's a propage, and here we can see the dark colors here are just sort of the coverage in metagenomes that correspond to these isolates, and we see that these isolates form a plague. Okay, all of these are descended from a single bacterium, probably no more than a decade or two. They colonized the person no more than a decade or two ago, and this subplague right here, they pretty much all have this propage, except for this one that just likely lost it. So to me that implies an acquisition, although you could argue perhaps multiple losses. But if you go back to the genomic data, what we see is that on day 0, okay, none of our, so we have isolates from day 0, none of our isolates have the propage, but our metagenome has the genes If we go to day 240, our islets have on average sort of one copy of the prophage, and then we also see it in the metagenome, and we've done this for other genes as well. Okay, and so the important thing to notice here is when we look at the islets and we sort of normalize everything to one, we see that there are more copies of this phage in that metagenome than what we would expect based on the isolates. And we've gone back now and we confirmed that we can find some of these elements in other species within that microbiome and those other species, and explain the difference here. So we think we've got a number of cases where we really have that smoking gun of microbes coming into the genome and then taking up new functionalities within the course of human lifetime. So talking about DPRAG, other bugs may have different dynamics. And so here we're looking at E. coli, and this is our day 0 time point. We just have one isolate. We look at day 174. Now we see a few bugs that look like this, and also we see it splitting here. When we get to day 272, all of these other bacteria that we saw on day 174 are gone, and we only see bacteria from this particular clade. When we look at day 709, kind of all of those bugs are gone, and we see these two new clades. And so unlike DPRAG, where we're accumulating genetic diversity over decades, with E. coli the story is a lot different, and you come back a few months later, and a lot of the previous standing diversity is lost, and so likely has something to do with the particular niche and lifestyle of that organism. So the last thing I want to talk about is endospores, and this is something that we all kind of know what's going on, and it's just, well, we just saw that species can, change their fitness by mutations and deletions, and change their functionality by acquiring new genes. Well, here, here's a case where they change their morphology just by making a sort of regulatory choice. And so what Sean Kearney, a right student in my lab, did is he took the whole community, and then he processed it to kill everything except for endospores. Extracted, sequenced both of those communities with just standard 16S sequencing, and then compares them to identify which of the bugs in any particular sample that are enriched in spores. And he did this for dozens of people, and then also through time series, so we can see of the potentially spore-forming bugs, how often do they, what percentage of those bugs are present as vegetative cells versus spores at different points in time. And so here's what the data look like. There's the whole community, you're after enriching for endospores, and so you take a lot of this diversity, and a lot of it goes away, and you're left with just a few clades of Clostridia, the Skywood, quite pronounced, and the Bacilli, I think they're known for spores. We also always see actinobacteria, and so even though we know they don't make conventional endospores, we can isolate them from stool, and they're at least as hardy as normal spores, and so we think they have an alternative kind of dormant state that functions very much like a spore. I don't have a timer, so okay, mine is on mute. Okay. We're about that too. So we look at these spores, and we look back and look at the dynamics over time, and what we found is that in most of the time series we have two different groups, and at least one of those groups is highly correlated and also highly variable over time. And what we found is the vast majority of our endospores were this highly variable component, along with Dilophola. And that was interesting to us because we know that bioacids are probably required for spore germination. And so we took a number of our strains and kind of tested this. And right at physiologic concentrations is when we start to see things moving from 100% spore to much lower fractions of spores, so mostly vegetative cells. And the other interesting thing we found about these spores is if we look at how many different people share spores, for bacteria, where almost 24 out of 24 people share that bacteria, then generally spore-forming bacteria, whereas the non-spore-forming bacteria, most of the time, you will only see that particular ODU in a subset of your population. And so what this led to, there's a trade-off between being highly variable and not very permanent, but also being able to transmit really well across multiple people. And so we go back to the time series that I showed you initially, right, we look at spore-formers and non-spore-formers that were abundant initially, and we see that switch post-infection. So in that post-infection regime, I get colonized by large number of spore-formers. And in fact, all of these bugs down here that I noted at the beginning of the talk, these are exactly the spore-formers that we're talking about. So it's the spore-formers that got wiped out as a result of my salmonella infection, and it was spore-formers that very rapidly replaced them. We can look at it in the context of C. diff, and what we can see is that the ratio of spore-formers in healthy controls versus first-time C. diff infection versus recurrent C. diff infection is gradually lower and lower. And we can also go back to the story I told you about Deeper Plant, where sometimes the pre-FMC recipient strains went out, and sometimes the donor strains went out. And a lot of this is explained by spores. So for spores, which are these resistant ODUs, we mostly see donor strains when this happens. So if the patient and the donor both have a particular strain, if it's a spore former, we'll almost always see the donor strain, whereas if it's not a spore former, we'll often see the patient strains. Okay, so I think I'll end there, and just thanks for the invitation and thanks for your attention. So I think we have time for at least one or two questions for Eric. Nice talk, Eric. My question goes to the point that many of us try to define a healthy microbiome. And what I think your work suggests is maybe we should rethink how we do this. And that is, maybe we shouldn't be thinking along the lines of species and strain, but we should be thinking along the lines of actually defining functional subsystems or genomic elements that are essential for health. And in that regard, in thinking about what we can do in developing tools to achieve that, I found your prophage finding very interesting. And that could potentially be a way of introducing genomic elements in a non-stochastic way and trying to achieve that nirvana of a healthy microbiome. I was wondering what your thoughts on that. Yeah, I think it's a good point, and I think there are certainly some functions that we're going to find are highly variable and maybe can be acquired, when we get to a new house and when you need them. And I think there's going to be other functions that are going to be more deeply embedded in metabolism and more difficult to transfer. And so I think what we need to do is just kind of look at these on a phylogeny and identify, okay, which are the functions where if I know that biologically, like, my prediction is probably fairly good, and which are the ones that are going to be very difficult to do that way. Looking at defrag, we're just trying to look at other groups, and I think it'll be interesting to see what are the selective pressures when an organism, enters a new host, and, a lot of organisms don't have the subfamily genes, so they're doing something different. Is it always kind of carbohydrate usage? Is it something more, maybe mundane or not mundane, but less useful, like just knowing that they're doing phage? I don't know.
So the environmental strings that you term, is it possible that they are actually in a rare biosphere of the donor's microbiota? And the second related question is, how many strains in a person's microbiota can isolate? Are there any rough numbers?
Yeah, so in terms of how many strains we can make in any one person, it might depend a little bit on how deeply you sequence, to be able to see things that are very, very low abundance, but, for things that are at least 50%, it's not, generally not more than like 5%. Now, I showed you the data on defrag where we have like 30 different strains, but most of those are different by like only one step. And so if you run Strain Finder on, those like metagenomic time series and kind of see how it gets out, it will say there's 2 strains, one corresponding to each of those groups that, are 10 steps apart.
What about the environmental?
Oh, sorry, this is the environmental. I think it's unlikely that they're, although totally possible that they're low-level present in the donor. It's more likely that they're low-level present in the recipient, and the reason I say that is, for most of these, we go back and look at the donor, but then we look at all, like the other 11 patients that were treated by that donor, and none of them, the donor doesn't have a single read that matches it, and none of the other 11 patients had a single read that matches it, and it seems more likely that it was in the patient, although maybe they're both just so far below our detection limit that you wouldn't see them. So I don't think we have that in the environmental, but it's more of a, like from my perspective, if I'm thinking about designing a synthetic microbial therapeutic, I don't really care anymore, like everything came from somewhere. The important thing is, I'm going to put this isolate, and maybe it's a genetically engineered organism to combat, inflammation or something like patient. Once it's there, it may be outcompeted by things that want to bring that patient, and I think that's sort of the take-home message from me on what, what the important consideration is regarding these environmental strains, right? And also the fact that, well, with hormonal transfer and just accumulation of steps, function can change. So it's not enough to, like, the only thing that seems to be very constant is the 15F. And so if all these different strains, different functions, then it's hard to kind of keep that locked down to the phenotype that you want to put in there.
Here's my question, quick answer. So Mr. Dr. Stanford, that was a great talk, and I think you highlighted very nicely the importance of horizontal gene transfer on biological function of microbes within the microbiome. My question is whether or not you look for evidence of horizontal gene transfer in your FMC sample. So genes are actually traveling from the donor to the recipient microbiome.
Yeah, so not yet. But now that we have all the donor strains, so we have a study going on right now that use the donor that we characterized really well, will take 2 years, and all the isolates from donor 44. That donor we've used in a fecal transplant study for inflammatory bowel disease, and we'll get samples back. And so we will go back and then culture those and see what came out. And so pretty excited to get our hands on those samples, but yeah, we don't have a story yet.
Great, well, thank you. Thanks so much, Eric.
So much to explain to you. How do you explain?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Padma Marwada. I'm a program director in ADK and also a member of Trans-NIH Microbiome Working Group. On behalf of our working group, I would like to thank all the attendees and the speakers who have readily agreed to accept our invitation and also present your work and participate in this 3-day event, which is not very easy considering your busy life. And I would also like to take a moment. I would like to actually give them a round of applause. So I would also like to take a moment to recognize Lisa Proctor and applaud her for her effort to keep us like on task and also spearheading the whole effort and unfortunately like keeping this moment going for like more than a year and a half. So I really would like to give her a round of applause. So the next group, scientific session, actually focus further on translational aspects of microbiome and further explore and how the knowledge that we gained so far can be used for improving human health and also benefit prevention and treatment. And we have 4 speakers in this session: Peter Schoenbach of UCSF, Scott Guzman of AMC, Maria Gloria Gutierrez, Ebola of NYU, and Robert Young of Indiana Cancer Center. I request all the speakers to come up onto the podium just in case time for the Peter Shield other times. And so each speaker is going to get 15 minutes, and I hope everyone sticks to their time slot in the interest of keeping the session going. And we will take all the questions at the end of the session, and all the speakers have completed their talk. And also, I want our speakers to indicate if it is okay for taking photos of the slide presentation, and I also request all the audience to respect and honor their request. And Peter will start give the presentation towards metagenomic basis of therapeutics. Peter?
Right, so it's really pleasure to be here. Thank you all for taking us there in today. And it's been two days of really inspiring and exciting research. It's been great to see you after Dr. Hall. So I'm going to tell you about the topic that we've really been focused on for the last few years in our lab, which is the important interactions between the microbes that live within our gastrointestinal tracts and xenobiotics, including drugs, dietary compounds, and other environmental contaminants. And so I just want to start by pointing out that we're not the first group to think about this. Unfortunately, we've been scooped by almost history. Back in 1939, Gerard Domack was awarded the Nobel Prize for his really remarkable discovery of the potato dyes, which are commonly used in textiles and tattooing, and have antibacterial properties. And this led to the development of phytosol here, which is the first drug in the sulfonamide class. And what Gerard actually didn't realize at the time, is actually got the prize for this, is that phytosol is actually not the active compound that kills bacteria. It turns out researchers at the Pasteur discovered that phytosol gets released into the 2 downstream metabolites, one of which, sulfanilamide, is actually the active compound that has the antibacterial effect. Even more interestingly, there's no enzyme in the human genome that performs this transformation. It's only performed by bacteria. And so you either use the pathogen itself or the microbiome to activate the spoke drug or inert compound forming the antibiotic. And so I think this is exciting in the sense that it sort of led to the decline of antibiotics, but also really was an early lesson that the drugs that we use in patients are really importantly influenced by the microbiome. So if we fast forward to today, we now know that at least 50 different drugs are metabolized by gut bacteria, as well as bacteria and other body types. And this list continues to grow, although at a relatively slow pace year by year. But one of the things that's really, I think, interesting about this is that these drugs are very distinct from each other in their structure, as you'll see in these few examples on the slide. But they're also used for many different diseases, and so this is not just restricted to antibiotics like we talked about for Parkinson's. It includes really key compounds that are used for the treatment of cancer, Parkinson's, rheumatoid arthritis, and others. And many of these drugs are really the mainstays of chemotherapy for these indications even today. And so, unfortunately, despite the fact that many of these types of information have been known for decades, we still know very little about the enzymes that are responsible. And so that means that if we were to sequence the microbiome, it would be very difficult to predict whether or not it's capable of metabolizing these drugs. And so, some of you may have heard, the pioneering work in this area from this young scientist, Max Tidwell. He had been 36 yesterday, and he now really does amazing studies on green can. And the way in which the downstream metabolite of the THC is liberated by basic membranes is that. Our lab has also worked on digoxin. We published the first paper a few years ago now, hopefully more to come soon. And since moving to YouTube 3 years ago, we started expanding out electronic medications. Others in the lab studying digoxin, as well as many of the other types of compounds we see on the slide. All of you people are finding really interesting things, and I hope to share the data with you guys soon in the near future. But I know that Emma was thinking, why is Peter talking about therapy? He was supposed to talk about prevention of disease. And so I want to switch for the rest of the talk today to an area related to antibiotic metabolism that could have implications prior to the development of disease. And so first I just want to remind you that we are not only exposed to the antibiotics through drugs. Our diet is actually a rich source of small molecules. We all know that diet is a major risk factor for disease. But most of us sort of think about diet at these sort of macro levels, whether or not it's an actual food like a broccoli or a croissant. Whereas we should really think about our food in this way, which is that they are a complex mixture of small molecules that are not only the ingredients that everybody talks about all the time, like carbohydrates and protein, but also a rich array of compounds that enter our body on a daily basis that have been modified by bacteria in ways that change their bioactivity. And so I'm really interested in applying the lessons of molecular metabolism to better understand the pathways through which gut bacteria biotransform dietary small molecules. So I'm going to focus on just one class of compounds. This was work done by Elizabeth Best, who's a chemist that joined our lab a couple years ago. And she, like myself, is obsessed with coffee and beauty bread. Interestingly, these are the two main sources of these polyphenols of lichen. And they're also benefits for vegetables as well as really ubiquitous for outer diets. So all of us consume lichen every day, but the concentration varies depending on the diet. So the reason why we're interested in lignans as microbiologists is that the lignin itself is actually thought to be an inert compound delivered through a diet that has very little effect on the body. What happens is that after we consume lignin, as we heard about from Joanna yesterday, they get modified by a series of reactions catalyzed only by gut bacteria to form these downstream products called phytoestrogens like prolactin. And so the impact of these dietary compounds on disease depends on the degree to which the microbiome can activate them. The area in which lignans have been most well studied is breast cancer, although they've been implicated in many other diseases. And this comes from work by Joanna as well as others to show that in humans, if you look at people with the highest quartile of plasma and prolactin, there's a 45% reduction in breast cancer incidence. In rodents, you can actually measure the compound itself or bacteria that produce the compound, work done by the biolab survey. And that's sufficient to reduce tumor growth in animal models. And so how do we go from the dietary compounds to the phytoestrogens? So this is a really simple model of what life might look like in the gut if your bacteria looking for these compounds. And so we consume the initial substrate, erythritol, for example, and our favorite gut bacteria, Erythrolenta, next-gen bacteria, widespread in humans, performs the first two reactions, the middle one here, so erythritol, so erythritol, Sago then gets passed off to Glaucia, which does the next reaction. It goes back to Erythra or potentially other members of the next-gen bacterial phylum, and then that goes on to Glycogen. And so it's really an intriguing example of a multi-step pathway that creates these compounds from the dietary substrate, but also requires the participation of many different bacteria for the full pathway to be performed. And so, unfortunately, for all of the steps in the pathway, we don't know the genes that are responsible. And so, if you were to go to the genetic or genetic finding the annotations for lichen metabolism by vector. And so, we would like to know how each of these bacteria performs their And so, Lichen was able to take advantage of the fact that our lab's been collecting unique strains of lichen from around the world. We have 27 distinct lichen strains now that come from 3 different continents. And what you do is often, you still see a big assay where you can quantify erythritol, erythritol, and Sago. Because we're not adding the next bacteria in the pathway, it'll stop when we get the Sago. And then you just quantify the conversion for each of these strains. And so what you can see is that 18 of the 27 make Sago and green, and the other 9 leave the erythritol in that. You can then sequence the genomes of these 27 strains and annotated where all your genes are gene families. And so each row is a gene family, and then we're just looking at the presence or absence of the absence in light gray and blue, and then present in dark blue. And we just organize them by the time metabolizers on the left, the metabolizers in the middle. And then on the right here, this is a random forest analysis to find genes that predict metabolism. But I think you can probably find the signal without any sort of chance, because at the top you can see there's these 2 genes that perfectly match the pattern of metabolism. So they've added all the repeating strains and missing all the conjugate groups. Both of these genes all together and they left the genome, and actually there's only just one enzyme that we're talking about called ether reductase or BAIR, and then a transcriptional regulator that's next to it that we call BAIR-R. And so this is sort of the first mystery, is that we went in looking for Q tests for formation, and we only have one enzyme, and so because we're simple people, we thought that the one enzyme is a simple test, and that kind of makes sense if you look at the symmetry in the reaction. Consistent with the role of BAIR in this reaction, if we add erythritol to like culture grown in vitro, we see that there's a pathological upregulation of expression of BAIR. And what's even more striking is that if we look genome-wide, we find that BAIR is by far the most highly upregulated transcript. And so this is RNA-seq data from Lenta, showing the presence or absence of erythritol, each side of the transcript, and then they're just ordered by the expression level on the x-axis. And what you can see is that there's a lot of significant genes that go up and down in red. There's the sort of one lonely dot at the top of the block, and this is there. So the orders of magnitude more expressed than any other gene. We also see upregulation of the regulator, although still under. And so Elizabeth was then able to go on to clone Bear into a vector that doesn't normally metabolize lipids, and so this is the model where it has a full life. This is an empty vector in here. We don't see, so we only see very small, we don't see the downstream product. And then when we clone in Bear, now we see 80% versus Pico, and the remaining 20% is the intermediate compound. In addition to that, she was able to use structural modeling to predict residues that are in the active site of Bear. Because she found these two tyrogenes that we predicted, or she predicted would be involved in blocking the substrate, mutated in both the phenylalanine, and they're used as assay, and now you can see that again, the wild type is really efficient, the control doesn't do anything. And then the double mutant has impaired activity, so it's still capable of going all the way to Pico, but to a lesser extent than the wild type enzyme. And so the challenge now is that, we want to know all the steps in this pathway, but, we have a lot of tools for ELISA, but we don't really have any for cellular electronic factor. And actually, I'm not going to go into it, but we don't actually think of them just perform valence and potentially perform by other related factors. And so how do we now identify the steps in this pathway without needing to develop the strain selection for each of these factors? And so, sort of inspired by the RNA-seq results for all of other compounds we've looked at, we've been doing differentiation of each of these bacteria with the substrate that they should metabolize, and looking for upregulated transcripts as a quick way to look at candidate genes. And so what we find is that this is Pico increasing with Claudia. You see a little bit here in the retinol, but there's these two genes in the top right that are also in a single genomic loci. They represent transporter and methyltransferase, so this is a really good candidate for that activity. And then the same for electronic factor here. Now you can see there's these three genes that are really far removed from the cloud, and those are all also within a single genomic loci, and they represent two enzymes in a transporter. And so we're currently validating these as well as the enzymes that are using this stuff. And so just to sort of wrap up this project, I want to explain to you why we think it's worth going to the trouble of identifying these novel genes that are involved in genomatic metabolism. And so the first thing you can imagine is that once we succeed in identifying all the steps of this pathway, that provides a tool in which we can now engineer bacteria that perform the full pathway. And so what we're starting with is this complicated system where you have changes in diet, you have many different bacteria that are involved, changes in the concentration of these compounds, and then ultimately the phenotype people care about, which is reduction of breast cancer or other diseases. So we'd like to merge all of these into a single organism that performs all the steps of the pathway, and in which we can regulate the activity of each step. We also now have the ability to perform perfect mouse experiments and models of breast cancer. So together with JHMS, UGSF, we've developed antibiotic models of breast cancer, and we have to colonize them with these controlled strains representing different steps of the lectin pathway, and see whether or not that results in a change in tumor growth. Okay. And so I just want to end this with a topic that I think has come up throughout many talks throughout the last couple of days. And that's, I think in order to understand what's going on in the microbiome and in general in host microbial interaction, it's going to require a lot of us that are biologists and metageneticists and comfortable with microbes to start thinking more deeply about the chemistry that's performed by these microbial communities. And so just like Walter White was inspired by his battles of cancer to become a chemist, we as microbiome researchers need to learn and go back to chemistry, biochemistry, structural biology, and anthropology in order to better understand how these microbial communities function at a molecular level. And so if you're interested in sort of meeting chemists or hanging out with chemists, maybe becoming one, where like I'll go into this Poland, where we're going to be keeping conference for the next session, sometime in 2018 to 2019. So stay tuned. And so I just want to acknowledge all our wonderful members of the lab. Elizabeth Beth is in the middle of the here. You can see she's the postdoc leading the Lignin project. I also want to acknowledge David Gutenberg is here at the meeting somewhere, hopefully still around, who was the first person to join my lab as a fellow in Boston, and really had a transformative effect on getting us started and all of the early work we did for East Coast. So thanks a lot, and thanks for having me.
Thanks, Peter. So the next speaker is Mark Bushman, and he's going to talk on gut microbial metabolites and cancer prevention.
Thanks to Lena and the other organizers for this opportunity. I'm having a great time. And so our lab is interested in the idea that dietary factors and digestive components get metabolized by gut microbiota into metabolites that influence the risk of various diseases, including cancer. And so to get into a number of different cancer mechanisms. And so, for example, certain things like red meat, bile acids get converted into putative oncometabolites, whereas other things like lactate fibers and polyphenols get converted into overputative tumor suppressive metabolites. And these metabolites can have direct effects on the intestinal epithelial cells. They can also affect the immune cells to modulate the immune response and inflammation. So let's go that one. So we're especially interested in this guy here, fumarate, and it's a short-chain fatty acid. And if you look at its structure, you can really think to yourself that it is a short chain full of 4 carbons. And I do know that there's a handful of short-chain fatty acid and fumarate aficionados in the audience, but for those of you that aren't, the story really begins up here with dietary fiber. And so this is the complex carbohydrate that's not digested or absorbed in the upper GI tract, and it reaches the colon. And here there are specific clades of bacteria that ferment it in short-chain fatty acid. So these are the 3 most abundant. They're each present in the lumen at 3 molar levels. And what makes it really interesting to me is that it's primarily utilized in the colonic epithelial cells themselves. And so it gets transported in, and it can go to 2 different subcellular compartments. First, they go to mitochondria, where it's important for energetics. So on the full cell types in our body, they use glucose as their primary energy source. Colonic are different. They have 60-70% of their energy from butyrate. And the idea is there's a lot of it, and the fatty acid is oxidized right away. Now, secondly, fumarate also moves to glucose, which is important for epigenetics. It's a naturally occurring acetylase inhibitor or HDAC inhibitor. In fact, commonly the first one ever characterized. So there's alkaline evidence that implicates
butyrate in cancer prevention. First, if you add butyrate to tumor-derived cell lines, including colorectal cancer cells, it decreases proliferation and decreases apoptosis and or differentiation. So this is a great result, but I think we're all aware of the caveats of tumor-derived cell lines that I'm not going to get into. So it's good that there's a second line of evidence that comes from 16 cumulative studies. I'm showing a few studies here. These are all working with human fecal samples. The good news is that they all reach the same conclusion, and that is for butyrate producers, the number of abundance is actually diminished in the colorectal cancer cases compared to controls. So this is also a really good result, but the limitation here too, and this has been kind of a recurring theme at this meeting, it's really difficult or impossible to know whether a particular change in the microbiome is a cause or a consequence of disease, and that's limitation here for sure. So we're taking a slightly different approach to further interrogate butyrate function, and what we're doing here is we're using probiotic models. And so I'm going to get into layers here of third on the left, and we're germ-free, and now we colonize them with 4 commensal bacteria referred to as the ultraslayer flora. And so these are commensals that occupy different GI niches, and they respond to breathing normalcy, so they got the abnormal germ-free state, but it does require control there. And then we provide them with control or high fiber diet that are caloric attached and virtually identical. And the high fiber diet is 50% of the oligosaccharides in the human, and it shows that it's produced really efficiently into butyrate. And in tumorigenesis, we're using the pro-carcinogen inhaler orthodoxine, and this only uses colorectal tumors, and there are a lot of similarities with colorectal cancer, for example, if you take either ADC or ADC, regulated with signal. I would use the same scheme, except for these mice that colonize in the 48 plus the guy here, the resolvents, this is the butyrate producer. On the same scheme, control diet, high fiber diet, it uses tumorigenesis. And so the idea now is control, experimental, with a combination of the high fiber diet with the butyrate producing bacteria, maybe at high levels of butyrate in the lumen of the duct. First, we know this based on LC-MS measurements. So the hypothesis then is that as a result, the experimentals will have a diminished tumor burden. So this is exactly the case based on the number of experiments. So when we look at this graph, the high fiber diet on its own in the absence of the butyrate producing bacteria does not have a protective effect. And similarly, the butyrate producer on its own when it's matched with a low fiber diet also does not have a protective effect. Instead, the combination of the high fiber diet with the butyrate producing bacteria in the experimental animals gives rise to significantly fewer tumors. In addition, these tumors are smaller and more engaging in this analogy they're less progressed. So we need to do another experiment to really show that butyrate is in fact a causal factor. And so I'm showing here on the left here, we're showing what I showed you the 3 control groups to the experimental with the wild type butyrate producer and the lower tumor burden. And over here in this isolator, it was the same experiment, but we're working with a single strain of these resolvents. So the same strain bacteria, different strain, 0.8 kb solution, and what the butyryl coases, this is how these bugs have decreased emission of butyrate production. And so we're matching this with the high fiber diet. There is a immunosuppressive effect, but it's significantly attenuated compared to wild type butyrate producer. So in other words, the tumor-suppressive effect is commensurate with the butyrate capacity of bacteria. And so one other important control experiment that's shown on the right side here. So we might only got the ASF bacteria from the butyrate producer, and instead of taking a high fiber diet, we're going to the control diet, but it's not verified with butyrate. And just as strong or stronger of a tumor-suppressive effect. So we show you that we articulate the high fiber diet and the wild type butyrate producer effect by supplying the exogenous butyrate. So there's a lot more to kind of develop a working model. There's aspects of it that I'm not going to be able to get into any kind of detail today. But what it is cellular bacterial fermentation into butyrate. Butyrate is important for its normal caloric homeostasis in large part because it's metabolized in mitochondria that work with energetics. And it is important for tumor suppression. Now, in the tumor cell, these cells enter the form of switch their metabolism such that they are more reliant on glucose metabolism. Butyrate transporters are still expressed. Butyrate is still transported again. But now, because it's not metabolized to the same extent in mitochondria, it actually accumulates to higher levels close to the nucleus. And after the HDAC inhibitor, it actually regulates the expression into these things. There's a number of activities in the John Lewis model to flesh it out further. One is to get at the idea of butyrate target genes. The other one is CHIP-C, H3K9 and H3K27 acetylation. These are targets that promoters and enhancers respectively along with RNA-seq. To give an example, we're seeing enrichment in a lot of cell cycle and FLAP5 genes. So one trace here with that is looking at H3K9 acetylation as a promoter. We're using high levels in the experimental mice than the control mice. The other thing we're looking at to try to get an idea of where the specificity we is co-occupancy with three HDACs that are currently overexpressed in colorectal cancer. And so we're doing this now. The model that we have is that during tumorigenesis, the HDACs are upregulated and they're playing a role in driving cancer, and they are diminishing the expression of certain pro-apoptotic genes like that. And now that there's sufficient levels of butyrate, they can act as kind of a brake pedal on the driver to allow higher levels of expression to be established. There's other things that have to be done as well. We need to investigate more thoroughly the role of butyrate in inflammation. We're doing a couple different mice. We're looking at other dietary factors. And the other important thing with those models, which has come up earlier too, is human relevance. We have a little bit of data on that. So we're looking at adenocarcinomas along with normal colon samples. We see just like our mouse model, we see higher levels of butyrate accumulating in the tumors compared to the normal. And also just like our mouse models, we see higher levels of global glucose acetylation in the tumors compared to normal. So this is encouraging. Now, shifting over to challenges, I have a couple. Challenge number one is the need to kind of do high throughput functional analysis of microbes. I think this problem is coming even more acute because this notion that most of the microbiota are uncultivatable seems to be diminished day by day. A lot of people bring more and more microbial isolates. We're going to need a way to interrogate the function. So I'm not really a fan of probiotic mouse models, but there are limitations. There have a few of them listed here, including the fact that they're expensive and low throughput. And so there's a need to develop cell culture models that will allow that will be available to co-cultures of microbiota. I'm not talking about KO2 cells. I'm going more in the direction of the gut and organ technology. So there's a huge advantage, but this also has limitations. So this is the typical state of the technology, and these programs spheroid structures. And so the pseudo that is enclosed in the middle here is very difficult to control the conditions. This is where the bacteria would be. So bacteria actually needs to be micro-injected inside. So this is ideal. There's room for newer approaches. My colleagues and I are working on this. So what we have is we have a scaffold, and it's shaped to the ideal dimension of human crypt. And it's all of the hydrogel in here, and then feed it with human LGR5 intestinal stem cells. And one of the advantages of having this kind of open format where it's not closed to the spheroid is that we have mechanical rays, both better rays, including it, and so allows the protein to polarize, such that the serum and the progenitor cells that are delivered are shown in green, the base of the crisp, and the post-mitotic differentiated cells are shown in blue. So we'll show you that here it is in vivo human crisp, and here's one of our in vivo crisps on this device. And so if we look at the green marker, we have the progenitors of the stem cells at the base, and with the red marker, with the differentiated cells on here, we can culture with the microbiota, or the first stem is trying to deliver a sharp oxygen rating, kind of depicted here, and we have done this yet, it's still ongoing, but the hope is to keep the crisp in its warm oxygen state, and keep it collecting the fuel cells happy, but keep the temperature sharp rating, of course, and keep the luminal components animal rating, so this will allow the culture of all the animals, which will give us a social interaction that will be much more good. Another challenge is kind of moving from identifying metabolites to really understanding the function. So the first phase is microbiome logic, makes sense. Critically appropriate discovery for the performance approaches, and a lot of information. I like this approach, obviously, because it's unbiased. It covers a lot of ground, kind of like following a farming analogy, but the limitation only scratches the surface. And so hopefully at some point, we're going to get a point where we have a list of interesting candidates, and the challenge is how that's embedded, and how we move into the next phase, which is more hypothesis-driven, where we look at specific candidates, and we stick with the growing farming analogies, so we move out and co-function more. That takes a lot of time, and something we discuss. When I do not ask, because there could be some challenges on this. A cautionary note comes from Ulrich, the tablet that we know relatively a lot about, so that probably a lot of these metabolites are going to be ecopic, so, and have multiple mechanisms. So computer energy sources, epigenetic factors, the ligands for cheap protein coupled receptors, it can act on cell autonomously on the cancer cell itself, but can also act non-cell autonomously in the immune system, if you can direct through barrier function, or direct by inducing the regulation of T cells. So considering the importance of all these different mechanisms is not trivial. And then my last challenge number 3, how to improve into the probiotic realm in an accelerated manner, which can get a lot of work. One of the things would be to integrate microbiome studies, some of the better with epidemiology, and she walks for exome sequencing and stuff over. So just acknowledge folks in my lab, and I think the biomedical engineer, in fact, the stem cell person, is largely responsible for supporting the project. So with that, I'll stop. Thanks.
So the next speaker is Maria Giulio Giulio from NYU. She's talking about microbiome and phenotype, impact regulation in cancer. Thank you very much, Catherine, and thank you, Lisa, the organizers of this wonderful symposium. Humans started a colonization process that has lasted and is continuing through the last few thousand years. And we know that the world is becoming more urban every time, and with urbanization we have the well-known immune-associated disorders. So there are two hypotheses. We don't know why this is happening, and there are two hypotheses that deal with microbial etiology. One is the hygiene hypothesis, which deals with the effect of exposure to environmental bacteria, and the other is the disappearing microbiota hypothesis, which postulates that it is human bacteria from the microbiome. The fact is that as mammals, humans start life with a heavy exposure to human bacteria, maternal. We are all born, if we are born naturally, already treated, already inoculated by the time of birth, picking up the colonization bug from our mother's vagina. And then the babies will not eat, but a liquid produced by the mother, which is milk. And that will select for some of the vaginal perineal bacteria that were picked at birth. And then mom is still there until the baby really develops enough sensorial brain locomotion to be able to explore the environment. And there comes a very deep exploration of the environment after that. And in urban societies, because we have technologies that have been very efficient for extending lifespan, and so we perturb and abuse practices that really impair transmission and colonization of most microbes. On the human side, we have C-sections and antibiotics, formula feeding, and we use technology to keep the baby far from the mothers, to transfer them or monitor them in their own very clean rooms where they are raised. And the first big impact at birth, during labor at birth, is C-section. C-section is a homicide because it requires also antibiotics. So it's bypassing the birth canal and the perineal area and antibiotics. C-section has been related with the modern diseases as have early antibiotics. It's the same diseases that are increased in risk. We showed earlier with the collaboration with Blondine how C-section impacts the neonatal microbiota. If we compare with maternal side, oral, vaginal, or skin, the babies will cluster anybody side of a neonate within the first 24 hours will cluster with the vagina if the baby were delivered vaginally, or with skin if they were by C-section. This is a metagenomic view of the vaginal microbiota, and this is work by my graduate student Keith Martinez and Amanda Birmingham helped us do the analysis. So we can see it's mostly Firmicutes, Lactobacillus, and Proteobacteria with a little bacteroides and Actinobacteria. This is the vaginal inoculum that is massively transferred to babies. Now let's look how the baby gut selects after 2 days of getting this inoculum. And what we see is, at the expense of the Firmicutes, Lactobacteroides and Actinobacteria really expand. How does a C-section born baby look at 2 days? They really lack the Lactobacteroides and Actinobacteria component. This is a day 2, and these are tools because we are using this to humanize life. But we know that there are longer-term effects. The communities between the babies converge, but there are populations that never do. C-section babies sustain a low bacteroides development in their gut. There are alpha diversity differences that emerge after the 8th month. So we see convergence